Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Yesterday I was trying to discuss how I was feeling about my performance at work. And normally I feel pretty good about it, and then I get messaged or talked about something I did, something I misquoted something. And so I made a mistake, or I had to make a call back to somebody because I told them that about the whatever in it about anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I made mistakes, so it made me feel less than not good. I've been feeling very bad about it. What is this? I don't want to. Look, I don't know what you're and chat. Okay, anyways. What am I trying to say? I feel bad. I still feel bad. I feel bad. I feel like disappointed in myself, and I'm feeling terrible. Like I've let them down. I've let down Nicole and Trisha. And when you're working for people that you feel as though you can't let them down, or you don't want to let them down, I feel like they're good bosses if you don't want to let them down. And I don't want to let them down, not simply because I don't want to get fired again. That's not the only reason. It's because I care. I like this job. I do. I like the job. I like the people that are in the job. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but I feel so terrible. I feel so just disappointed in myself. You know, when your mom or your dad, your parent would say, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And that hurt more than them being mad. Yeah, that's me, to me. I'm not mad at myself. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed at myself. I've been working this job since the end of October. So you might say, well, it's only been a few months. And there was like a week in there where I had COVID. So it was like a couple weeks of training on the phone, taking calls and stuff. So I don't know why I can't I'm understanding it. Like when someone tells me, I'm like, all right, cool. But then once I'm on the phone taking a call, I miss something. And it's not that I'm not taking my time. It was that I wasn't taking my time at my first few mistakes. But it's not that I'm not taking my time now. I'm looking at the type of policy it is. But I'm just so disappointed in myself. But today is not about disappointment. Today's hopefully not about disappointment, okay? Today is about learning and moving forward and improving. So I'm learning about Black History Month, because we're still in February. It's still Black History Month. Today is February 7th. The name I just forgot. Just a moment. I'm watching a video. So let's listen together.
BlackFacts.com presents the BlackFacts.com. February 7th.
Carter G. Woodson created the Negro History Week. That's what it started out. Negro History Week was created by Carter G. Woodson. And that's what it started out as, and I have a big pimple on my face. Oh, I'm so distracted. Anyways, Negro History Week. And this video is like a minute and a half, so probably tell me about when it changed from Negro History Week to Black History Month. I don't know. But blackfacts.com is a website. How cool is that, huh? blackfacts.com. I'm surprised that blackfacts.com, nobody had that domain for a long time. I don't know when this website came up to be, but anyway, I'm gonna learn. So I guess for now, I'm just saying I am disappointed in myself, but today is about learning and improving. Not just today, but every day forward is about learning and improving and trying your best to do your best. So I don't start work for another 10 minutes, so I will talk to you later. This is us during Vanderpump.
She just went to that party. We did the same. Strike it.
Toasty!
Except that part. Good evening. My phone is at 1%, probably 0.5% by now, and will be dying at any second. So so I gotta say goodnight. So have yourself a good night. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodles.
My family fought to save their farm under this flag. Who was working that farm? My family was. Who was working the farm? They were poor. Do you know how much a slave cost back then?
There's actually a knowable answer to that question. By 1860, at the time of the Civil War, enslaved people's value was somewhere between $200 on the low end all the way up to $2,000. So we're talking about, in today's dollars, maybe somewhere between $2,400 and, like $50,000. There are even some estimates that say that some enslaved people were valued at somewhere around $180,000 in today's dollars. So you can think of it basically like owning a car. And about 1.6% of Southern families owned more than 200 slaves, like having like a whole car dealership. But about 20 to 25% of Southerners at the time of the Civil War owned at least one enslaved person. It's like basically living in a society where wealthy people all have cars. Well, what do all the people who don't have cars want? A car. And even if a family worked on a small farm and didn't have enslaved people, what do you think their goal was? Their goal was to earn enough money to be able to buy people, to buy humans to do the work. It's not like families didn't aspire to have enslaved people. Why do you think that Southern whites were willing to go to war, to literally go to war against the United States for slavery? Because remember, every single state that seceded, all 11 of them, said explicitly, we're doing this to preserve slavery. Well, why would somebody who's on a small farm want to fight to preserve slavery? Because their aspiration was to become a major planter, which means a major slave owner. That's what they all wanted to do. That's what they all aspired to do. And they also wanted to defend the system whereby they couldn't be enslaved. Only Africans could, only Black people. And so that system of hierarchy that allowed any white person, no matter how rich or poor, to be superior to any Black person, and for that Black person to be captured and treated as property, and their children and their children's children owned by a white person. This is a system that benefited every single white person in the South. And by the way, every white person in the North too. Because even if you weren't a slave owner, you benefited from the economy that cotton production, that rice production, that all of these industries generated. You could benefit by being an insurance owner. Slaves were insured like cars. Enslaved people also produced goods that were sold. So if you were somebody who was in the shipping business or, the cotton milling business, all of them benefited from slavery. So whether you were a small farmer or a big farmer, the slavery system benefited you. And you were willing to go to war to preserve it and to preserve white supremacy because that was the whole basis of your society. And by the way, a lot of people in the South went to war simply because they were told to and because the rich people around them made sure that the poor kids were doing the fighting, right? And so it doesn't matter whether your family was rich, poor, had one slave or 10 or none. It doesn't matter. Everyone in the South benefited from that economy and that system, and they went to war to preserve it and to preserve white supremacy forever. So that's the answer to your question. You also told on yourself just by saying that at all, because like, why are you curious about how much they cost? You missed that system, right? You think things were better then? One last note, that flag is not even the flag that your forefathers fought under for their farm. That was not the flag of the Confederacy. That's a flag that they created afterwards. It's literally just a symbol of racism and white supremacy. And you're flying it because MAGA. Peace out.
I need